So anyways, originally 3.0 was going to be like digging the basement deeper because, like the basement is much like this basement that we're in right now. It's really only 7 foot tall. I figured, if I'm going to put a lot of money into doing, aquatics and all this stuff, we need at least 9-10 foot space.
Yeah, we need Brother Clint down here.
So yeah, exactly. Brother Clint would be happy, right? So so anyways, we did have a guy out, an engineer out, and a cement guy out, and to be totally honest with you, it was doable. It was actually, the budget came in almost exactly where I thought it would be, which is shocking because I don't know even where I came up with this number for the budget. I was just like, yeah, I hope it only costs about $60,000 to break out the floor, and it basically came in at about $60,000.
Which is crazy because it was a crapshoot.
Yeah, it could have been $600,000. I had no idea, but so that's doable. Now, that's $60,000. That's 70 grand just to break the floor out and dig it down and pour a new floor. That has nothing to do with the stairway, the elevator, the
universal rocks, the cages, enclosures.
It's a lot, But anyway, so that came in. So I also had another engineer out that talked to me about this, and he talked about going up as well. And ironically enough, someone reached out for me that did listen to the podcast, but also watched the vlog, and he was an engineer from the UK. And he did tell me, he said, number one rule when I went to engineering school is never dig into a foundation.
Go up.
He said, go up, don't go down. So I
probably smart.
I did actually really think about that email that the guy sent me as well. Like, okay, this is an actual engineer. Now, granted, things are different in the UK. They can, they can't even say potato chip. They're crisps. For God's sake. Crisp. I mean, come on. How much can you trust them?
You can't trust a biscuit eater.
Yeah, I can't try. Exactly. Come on. It's a cookie. It's not
a cookie,
biscuit.
baby.
It's got a nice sponge on that cake,
Yeah.
But anyways, point is, sorry to degrade my UK following.
We love you. You know that.
love my
I say
UK
bruv,
following.
fam, and in it all day. So
yeah,
we love
you. I really do love the UK. But anyways, so we talked about that. So I really think that we've come to we haven't come to any decision yet, but
no.
But we are definitely leaning in the going up a second floor,
which is crazy.
Thing, which would really, we would still go over into BHB, but not into the basement. So we would add another third of the Reptarium that way laterally, and then literally double that, including that third on the whole top floor. So we'd basically be taking the footprint that we have now for the Reptarium, and we'd be 2.5 timesing that footprint.
Yeah, like 2/3 extra, right?
Yeah,
almost, right?
Yeah. It'd be quite a bit more. So
that's crazy.
So I think, and we have some really cool ideas for like architecturally. I want to have the top be like an atrium that's all glass, so that the ceiling would be an atrium glass. So, anyways, that's enough of that. The point is that we're going to need your super chats.
We're going to need your help today, baby.
Super chats, because this is this is the thing, guys. Listen, we've done well in life in a lot of ways, but I'm not rich. I've got a lot of assets and but I'm going to spend almost everything I have to do
every
this.
dollar.
I'm at the end, I'm going to be collecting cans out front, for 10
please, y'all, please, Perdita needs a rabbit.
Yeah,
please.
please come in. And,
of course.
But I think that, anyone that knows me knows that I would rather have the dream come to fruition than have a bunch of money in the bank.
Well, yeah, you don't really spend money on anything.
Yeah,
like on a day-to-day, what? Maybe going out to like grabbing food. That's it, right? So
very little.
Rather than that money sitting around, it's probably smart to just live your dreams, baby.
Yeah, it really is. But let's hit a couple super chats. Like I said, if you guys have questions, hit me up in the super chats. We will continue on this conversation as well. But I know that there was a couple pretty good questions before we even started. By the way, we had a couple great super chats.
They're the best.
Let's jump in.
So Lydia says, "Love watching the vlogs every day. You think the Reptarium would be as successful if you didn't have a YouTube channel?"
It's a great question. When Jay told me this before we came on, it's such an interesting thing because when I started the Reptarium, I really believed that 80 to 90% of the people that came through the door would be people that watched me in some form on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, some social event. And I thought that that's the way it was. And I think maybe in the very beginning, I don't know what the percentage was, but it was definitely a higher percent than it is now by far of people that would come in because of the vlog / whatever. So it was a great way to jump up. What happened that was
unheard of.
I did not expect, unexpected.
Yeah.
Is that, and today was a perfect example. We opened up at 4:00. I was upstairs in my office doing a couple things. About 10 after, I called Lori real quick and said, hey, I'm going to pop over in a second, just finishing up a couple things. She's like, nah, there's no reason for you to pop over. I mean, she's like, if you want to come over, fine, but you don't need to.
Isn't that crazy?
Literally, there was one, and I did pop over, by the way, and I worked. There was one person literally one, not a group, one
human. Yeah.
One human in the Reptarium that knew who I was. Not one other person. So what's happened is it's like 99% families and local people that have just heard about this really interesting place that you can go and hold animals and have interactions and so on like that. And
family hotspot.
Yeah,
man.
it's a family hotspot. I'd say literally probably 85 to 90% of the groups that come in are kids and families. And that's something I didn't expect to happen. I really did think it was going to be the opposite. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. I'm overwhelmingly happy that it happened this way because, number one, it takes the pressure off of me feeling like I have to be here every minute of every day because I feel that obligation. Like, oh, my God. Like the one individual that came that I met today, she flew in from Washington.
State?
Washington State.
Whoa.
Flew in just to come to the Reptarium. So
that's crazy. I love that.
So that's important for me. And she's upstairs right now. I told her when we're done with this, I'm going to go hang out with her. And we always have a few people every weekend, that come from out of state, sometimes Washington, sometimes Texas. We got some people, friends of ours coming from St. Louis tomorrow. So we always have people that travel in, but it's...
you don't have to be here all night.
No,
you can be here for like an hour with that person,
I mean, and so I would have 100% thought that the Reptarium wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for that. And listen, maybe that jump start that we needed was it. I don't know. But at some point, I would say at about the 4 to 5 month window of us being open is when it dramatically shifted from people that followed me to people that had no clue who I was.
Yeah.
And I love it this way. I think it's a much longer term potential
of success.
Than having people that just follow me online because you don't know what the future of
and not only that, but now
is.
like we talked about this before, but now like when those kids grow up, they're gonna take their kids here. Like, oh, this is where I held my first snake. You got to come here, So
and that's one of the reasons why I think about building, this like really amazing place. I mean, I think right now it's still very magical, but I think of building something that's more extreme. And what we've talked about is the upstairs being almost all aquatic. And I know originally I was thinking the basement being aquatic because obviously it makes more sense to have, foundation with aquatic, especially when you're talking about tens of thousands of gallons of water, maybe hundreds of thousands of gallons of water.
Yeah.
But talking to the engineer, that's not anything to be concerned with. You can build, anything. You could just have to reinforce it to where it's
stable.
Yeah, stable to be able to do that. So I'm not too terribly concerned, to be honest with you, with the foundation as far as that goes, if we do it right, which of course we will. But yeah, so then, the downstairs, the whole now 3 units, right now we're using 2 of the 3 units, would be all reptilian, 100% reptiles with the exception of course, Drogo and otters.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But then upstairs we would have our alligators, obviously. All the alligators would be upstairs, but then the rest would be fish. All aquatics, which I'm pretty excited about.
I am too, man.
And I think it just opens it up to something even more for people. Like right now, people are starting to come to the Reptarium really just to see Drogo. If people would come to the Reptarium to maybe see otters and Drogo, and then there's going to be people that come just for the sea life part of it, the
aquarium,
the stingrays and all that type of stuff. So it just makes it more, like you said, a generational thing where it's like, hey, this is just something we do every year. Our school goes to the Reptarium aquarium every year.
And now Jay said earlier that there's no aquariums in this area. Is there?
No,
true,
the closest aquarium that we have,
Sea Life?
Sea Life is our closest one, and it's about an hour away, 45 minutes to an hour away.
And that's pretty decent drive, too.
Yeah, and it's kind of out in the sticks. So it's away from the city, so we would still have... And I think people could go to Sea Life and come here and still be just equally as happy. Obviously, we would have more interactions, obviously, than Sea Life. But yeah, so that's good. So there's your answer about the Reptarium.
Love it. James Smith says, dang it, tried to be the first one, LOL. So back in the day, did people advertise their breeding business in the back of reptile mags or just word of mouth? And that's a good question because I don't know the answer to that either.
Yeah,
so.
it's an interesting thing. I think that it was a lot of word of mouth because you got to remember. I mean, now going back to my beginnings, which is like Stone Ages.
Back in my day,
before they had electricity.
yeah.
They didn't have
we used to telegraph. I got snakes from Africa.
Yeah, we didn't have them real printing presses back in the day. There really wasn't even a magazine, to be totally honest. There was something that was called the Vivarium magazine that was like twice a year maybe. And I don't even know if I'm sure people could advertise in it, but it wasn't really about that, really.
Yeah.
There was no Reptiles magazine, and then there was, of course, Reptiles Amphibian magazine came out, later on, and so on like that. So really, there wasn't an opportunity to advertise in magazines, to be totally honest with you. But I will say, there was something that was called, oh my gosh, it was called the newsletter, and it was the. Oh my gosh! I can't believe I can't remember this.
Oh my God.
It was like, oh, and I literally, this popped in my head as I was thinking about that. That's why I wasn't prepared for this. It was called like the Ohio something Reptiles newsletter.
Okay.
And it was literally a herp society, and that's where everyone advertised in.
Wow.
And I am talking about a 10-page. Like it would be
pieces of paper.
It would be blue. It would be pink one. It would be purple, and just literally black print on it. I mean, like no pictures, no anything. And it was it was the newsletter was called, and every month everyone would be so excited to get this newsletter. And then of course the next thing that happened is that as you developed, like physical addresses, for people, like you'd be on the phone networking and can I get your address? Stuff like that. And you would send price lists out every year. And of course, BHB was like the first company that ever did full colored price lists.
Yeah.
Like no one did full colored price lists. It was all just like, again, like printed, like Xeroxed, price lists.
Yeah.
And we started doing full colored price lists with pictures of the animals and stuff like that. And so that's how you network back then. It was a lot of word of mouth.
That's so crazy, man.
The newsletter, which I wish Lori was.
Because I know she knows because she just talked about it the other day. You should text her.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually try to call Lori right now if she answers.
Ooh,
Let's see if she answers.
Speaker, baby.
I'm gonna put it on speaker, see if she answers. She may not answer because
she's
upstairs.
Reptarium, man. So we'll see.
I'm gonna see if she answers.
You could always call the Reptarium too.
Hi, Lori. You're on speaker on the podcast. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Okay. Do you remember what was the name of that? Remember, it was like a pamphlet that was called like the newsletter or something like that way back in the day, way before everything. Do you remember what that was called?
Notes from Noah.
Notes from Noah. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Bye. It was called Notes from Noah, and it was the Northern Ohio Association of Herpetologists.
No way.
Yep,
dude.
it's Notes from Noah. Yeah, that was, God, I can't believe she remembers. She's so smart.
She's so smart. You got
smart.
a good one there. You got a good one.
So it was called Notes from Noah. Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Damn, that's huge, man. Did y'all used to read that by candlelight or by the fire? Y'all used to read that shit.
You could only read it until the light came down.
During the light. Damn, dude. That is so impressive, though. I love that because it gives all these people in the chat that are starting a reptile business, you have no excuse. There's so much out there for you to market yourself. So
can you believe that? Notes from Noah.
Notes from Noah.
I am going to, by the way, I know Lori has Notes from Noah because she had talked about.
And the pricing list,
Yeah,
too.
and the price list because we talked about the hallway leading into the, like doing pictures of that. So I'll have to do that on the, remind me, let's do that on the vlog. I think it'd be really funny to have a segment on the vlog showing Notes from Noah and what that was about.
I love that.
Wow, that's incredible. That's nostalgia there. I love that question came up.
Awesome, man. Love that. Solid Serpent says, my first super chat sometime ago, I asked about mole snakes. Now you have them. Just thank me by for the idea by putting me on the baby wait list. XOXO.
Hey, I tell you what, man, you're number one on the wait list, man.
There we
tell
go.
you what, because I haven't got a wait list yet.
That male is insane, dude.
They're fast becoming one of my favorite snakes, to be totally honest with you. Now, I will say Heidi told me that they're very hard to breed. I don't know why. I don't know anything about them. Listen, I don't know anything about mole snakes. I literally don't. Other than the fact that they eat frozen thawed really well. They're super chill. Apparently, they aren't usually chill. So Warren gave me some really good animals. She did say they are different localities, though. She said that the colors aren't because of sexual dimorphism. It's because they're different areas.
Yeah, it would make sense. I would assume that the darker one's probably a more northern or something like colder.
I'm not sure what it is, but nevertheless, she did say that. She said, I mean, I think that they're the same species, so they could obviously breed. What we get baby-wise, I don't know, but I don't know anything else about it. I don't know if they need to be cooled down. I don't know if they have been cooled down. I've been putting them together. I'm hoping that we get babies. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, but you're on the list, baby.
Yeah, you're number one.
That's awesome, bro. Love that. All right, so next up we have Jordan Dean. Just says, keep it up through $5. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Jordan. That $5 will go for that atrium.
Yeah, there you go. That's one pane of glass.
No, it's
not. It's the rubber seal.
It's the rubber seal, but we need that rubber seal, so it's important.
Or it's going to leak in here.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Tom said through $10. I'm assuming he missed his super chat, so I'll try to look for it. But
okay, cool. Yeah,
appreciate you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. We'll try to find you.
Chad says, jumping back on today, enjoyed the visit on Monday, and we can't wait to come back and see 3.0. I also emailed Beth about the Savu pythons.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Chad. We had a good time too. I appreciate you coming out and hanging out.
He was the one from Georgia, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. He went on Noah's last night too. That's awesome.
Oh, did he come on Noah's?
Yeah,
Cool,
he was hanging out with us.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and definitely Savus are hopefully going to be on the way. I mean, we got some eggs and stuff like that, so we'll see what happens.
Brandy says, love y'all.
Thank you, Brandy. We love you too.
Love you, man.
If I was Noah, I'd probably say some inappropriate things to you, Brandy.
Yeah, so we'll
but I'm not
soundbite Noah so that we can plug it in next time.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like, yeah.
yeah, we already know.
I wonder, I mean, like where does that kid come from? You know what
Dude.
I mean? Like this, like it's so
YouTube and video games.
It's
100%.
so opposite of me and Lori. You know what I mean? Like Lori and myself are so reserved when it comes to things.
Like,
and
yeah,
he just
dirty
says
stuff.
The craziest things. And I often think like, where did he get the like? He's
so
like,
true,
he's like,
though.
I mean, he's a little bit like Lori's brother was.
And listen, and that's
other than that, I don't know.
And that was like one of his
idols.
So like that's definitely it. He's carried on that torch,
Yeah, it's shocking how much he's like. I mean, people don't know. Unfortunately, Lori's brother passed away 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, he was a big influence on Noah's life, and he does act a lot like him.
Yeah, and I love that.
Weirdly enough, it's interesting.
Jason says, me and my daughter Chloe from Springfield, Missouri, love watching your vlogs together.
Oh, thank you. Did it ever come out? Was The Simpsons from Springfield, Missouri, Springfield, Illinois, and there's another Springfield, right?
Like, where's the Simpsons take place?
where is the Springfield Simpsons? Did they ever come out and say that?
Let me see. I'm going to look right now.
I'm wondering if they ever did, or if it's just a fictitious Springfield that doesn't have to do with anything.
It just says it's a fictional American town of Springfield.
Yeah, okay.
Unknown place and impossible to determine.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
I think if I was in Springfield, Missouri, I would claim it as my own.
Yeah, why don't we just claim it?
Although, yeah.
Yeah,
Misery is good, though.
Chloe Dredd says, hey, Brian and Jay, first time making it to the live. Love you guys. Love you too, Chloe.
Well, Chloe, thank you for making it tonight. I hope that you'll enjoy it. I hope that will be insightful, and hopefully I can spread some knowledge of something that
beneficial.
That you will enjoy.
Jamie says, you're proof that hard work pays off.
Thank you. And I think that, it's interesting because I follow a lot of people that are successful, whether it's, Gary Vee or Mr. Wonderful or I mean, the list goes on and on. Obviously, Elon Musk and the former Steve Jobs. And it's interesting. It's strange to me that more people don't get that most simple, advice.
I know.
And like to a person, every single person that is successful will say, you just have to work hard.
Yep.
I mean, like that is the key to success.
No matter what you're doing.
Yeah, like will you be successful if you work hard? Not always, but you probably will not be successful if you don't work hard. You know what I mean? Like, there's a very little chance. There's a slight chance that you can hit the lottery or
something, get injured in lawsuit.
Yeah, or you come up with some silly idea that turns into $1 billion, idea. But those are very rare. I mean, there's not that many. Jeff Bezos in the world, Steve Bezos is Steve Bezos in the world. There's a whole lot of people that have worked their butts off to get successful, and that's one of the things that But at the same time, I remember Casey Neistat talking about this, and Casey, of course, is a YouTuber who I respect tremendously
For sure.
And he called it work porn.
Yeah.
He said, be careful of the work porn because so many people were being, successful about this, like work hard, 7 days a week, Monday to
4
Monday.
4 a.m.,
wake up at 4 a.m., work till 10 and, at night
never
or whatever.
live.
Never. And he talked about, work porn being, potentially a bad thing. And I don't disagree with that, you know, and I've talked a lot about this over the last several months, almost a year now that I've dealt with anxiety. It's obviously getting better and continuing to get better. But is the balance, you know, I work way too much, and I still work way too much, I mean, it's not good, guys. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like, I love what I do, right? I mean, I wake up every morning and I can't wait to do the things that I do.
Of course.
I can't wait to come in and check what ball pythons are breeding or what ate or if there's going to be eggs. And, I love filming and I love, interacting with everyone. And Casey also talked about being addicted to the upload button on YouTube. I agree with that as well. But you got to work hard to be successful, but at the same time, you have to be willing to sacrifice to what level you're happy with, right? Like, I mean, if you're like me and I've been willing to sacrifice the majority of my personal life for the last 30 years to get to where I am, because where I am is a success, not based in finances.
No, but in that dream, right?
But yeah, based in the dream, then it's okay. But if that's not you, that's okay too. You know what I mean? Not everyone is going to want to work their life away. And there's so many different levels of success, right? So you can be broke as hell and be successful because you're happy, you're content, you have beautiful family and friends. But when it comes to business, I've always said that the one thing that I'll do is work harder than my competition. Yeah. And if I can outwork my competition, I always say I will do things that no one else will ever do, right? Like no one in the reptile business is going to put out 1,660 something days of content in a row. No one in the reptile business is going to do that and run several business and post 4 times a day on Instagram and post on TikTok and do 3 podcasts a week and do, I know that I'm on a level of work that no one's going to keep up with. And I hope that sets me apart. With that being said, there's a huge sacrifice. And to most people, that sacrifice isn't worth it. To me, it is.
And the best thing is a saying that I heard a long time ago that stuck with me was, do what 99% of people are not willing to do so you can do what 99% of people can't do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, it's all in a matter. But again, work hard, but work hard in your own way.
Yeah. Enjoy your life, whatever that means.
Enjoy your life, live in the moment as much as you can too. Just so happens that my work is about the things I love.
Roberta says, much love, Brian and Jay.
Thank you, Roberta.
Jack says, picking up an adult pair of bredlize pythons in a couple weeks. Any tips on breeding and cage size?
They're actually pretty easy. I do like taller, more arboreal cages for all carpet pythons if you can. They do like to climb, but something 4 to 6 foot by 3 foot, and maybe give it 3-4 feet high type of caging for some branches and some climbing, some basking and stuff like that. Now you got to remember, Bredls are one of the larger of the variegata.
They get big.
They can get 9-10 foot, unlike some of the other variegatas that stay 6-7 foot. So you do need a little bit bigger cage. And but we bred them for many years, and they're the exact same breeding as any other carpet python. Slight cooling down, increased amount of food, copulation, stuff like that. They're pretty simple to breed, to be totally honest with you, but you'll love them because Bredls are amazing.
Damn, son!
Can we rail this in?